Hey good people, if you want to learn how to play the Berserker Wolverine a little more effectively, I got you. We're going to start off with his abilities. If you already know his abilities really well, go ahead and skip to the next chapter. But starting off with his abilities, of course, his R2 and his left click is going to be Savage Claw. It's just going to be, a short flurry of his claw strikes. Then his ult is Last Stand. This is going to be him activating it, throwing somebody into the air that's directly in front of him, and then you confirm where your circle is going to lay to dash them down to where that is. Hopefully, they go with you, and you do an impact at that state. And after that, you're going to do increased damage, and your savage claws are going to be a lot faster, y'all. So, can be pretty damn deadly. This is going to be L3, R3, console. And then, of course, it's going to be your Q on PC. Then you got Feral Leap. Feral Leap, this is his, this is his thing. This is pretty much what you're going to base your whole, whether you get a kill or whether you not get a kill on. And what it does is when you hit L1 or L shift, you are going to launch forward. Hopefully, you need to grab somebody to make this work. So get in front of somebody, you launch forward with Feral Leap, you grab them, and you can steer where you want to take them. Remember that's important. And right after Feral Leap, you're going to do a lot of faster swipes with your Savage Claw, which is important to doing the damage. Then we got Undying Animal. This is something you're going to use to hit R1 or E, and it's just going to reduce your incoming damage briefly. Remember, it's not going to last forever. Then you got Vicious Rampage. That's going to be your L2 or your right click. It just lets you dash forward and you do a claw strike at the end. And this is really nice to close distances, okay? And now his passive. So first one is Regenerative Healing Factor. So when you get hit to 0, you're going to get a nice chunk of bonus health in the blue. After a few seconds, whatever you have left over of that bonus health in the blue will actually convert to your actual health. And when this happens, it will shake off your debuffs. So this is nice. Assists in KOs reduce the cooldown, just so you know. Then we got Berserker Rage, y'all. Berserker Rage is so important to Wolverine's kit, it's not even funny. If you see the reticle in the middle of the screen with the number, that is his rage bar. You want to get that to 100 as often as possible, and the higher it is, the better it is for you. Why? Because this is going to boost the damage of his claw strikes and the bonus health that you're going to get from the healing factor. How do you build it up? When you take hits and when you do damage, they both build it up. The other thing you need to know is you can be thrown by the Hulk, which pretty much gives you a free Feral Leap. So just keep that in mind. It's funny as hell, it's fun, and it's something y'all can do. Now let's talk about how you play him effectively. We're going to break this down into 3 little areas to make it simple. Number 1, focus your tanks. Number 2, build your rage. 3, use your combo. These are the 3 pinnacle essential things you need to do to kill and hopefully not die, other than getting healed, to make Wolverine work. So let's focus on number 1. Focus your tanks. Wolverine is all about killing tanks, okay? Don't pick fights with every DPS. You get pretty much hard counted by most melee DPSs. It's not a good idea. You want to focus on tanks and if possible healers. When you're in your full rage, you might be able to kill a lot of DPS characters though, but that's the only time I would take those fights. Now, use a flank and combo, right? This is what you want to do. Use a flank and combo tanks. This is how it's going to work. That's your whole thing with Wolverine. That is the way he is meant to be played. If you go trying to fight everyone in a 1v1, 1v5, 1v whatever, you're probably going to die. So focus tanks. Tanks and situationally healers. 2, build your rage. Build up your rage for the most damage possible. Ways you can build your rage before getting into actual fights. Hitting clones, of Loki. You can also hit tech that's on the ground. Rocket Raccoon's tech, Penny's nest, anything like that. Those are things that help you build up rage. As you take damage, you'll build up rage. So if you have a healer healing you, might be nice to take a couple of hits to build up that rage before you start an encounter. The other thing to know is use your ult when you have rage already built up for a big increase of damage. Try not to do a zero rage ult. It's not going to be as effective as you think it will be. So make sure you keep that in your mind. Take that ult and use it when you're close to full rage or you're in full rage for the best damn results. And 3, let's talk about the combos you need to use to be very successful with this man right here. Remember what I said about flank a tank? Yeah, that rhymes, so you can remember it. So you want to always start off with trying to get an angle, go around, you want to flank a tank, right? So once you get an angle where there's not too many people around, you got a good angle on the tank, and you think you can lure them out of that back line successfully and still be in the line of sight of healers, this is what you're going to do. Before you start that fight, right before you start it, use Undying Animal for that damage reduction, then dash in with Vicious Rampage. Right after your claws connect from Vicious Rampage, hit Pharaoh Leap. Now when you hit Pharaoh Leap, immediately take that tank back towards your team or a small space away from enemies and use Savage Claw to finish them off. This is his toasted bread and butter, y'all. This 4-step combo is what you want to master the most with Wolverine. Now on top of that, you can throw in Last Stand. As soon as you hit the Pharaoh Leap back and land, you can throw in your Last Stand ult to really decimate a tank, to really melt a tank and be able to continue fighting whoever's nearest to you after that, preferably healers. At this point, you should have close to, if not full rage by the time you hit that ult, so this is a good time to do that. Now that we got his foundation down, let's move on to things to keep in mind. You want to isolate tanks and targets from healers, especially multiple healers. This is why your Pharaoh Leap is so important. If you start a fight with 2 healers pocketing a tank, you're probably not gonna win. Unless you Pharaoh Leap him out there and use your ult to extend basically another leap to push him even farther back into your backline. That's the only time I would take those engagements. Try to make sure the situation is winnable before you attack. This is very important. Pick your fights, y'all. Wait for after a support uses their ult, so you know they just won't use it and nullify everything you're about to do. And make sure tech like Penny's nest is gone before attacking a tank like Penny. If a healer is nearby trying to heal a tank, or DPS pushes you right after you take out a tank, and you have full rage, this is probably the time where you want to pick those enemies off. You can also pick off a healer if you flank them just right and they're all the way in the back line. Probably smart idea to start off your attack by flanking, killing that healer like you would a tank, and then moving on to the tank. That's a way you can do it too, but you gotta keep your cooldowns in mind. So you might want to kill that healer and then disappear into the background until you're about to have another Pharaoh Leap, and then go get that tank. Of course, it's common sense, but you're gonna want to stay in healer's line of sight, because with healing, Wolverine is an absolute beast, but without healing, you might be able to get that tank and you're probably gonna get knocked out right after that. Keep in mind that this is fun as hell and is funny as hell, and personally, it's my favorite part of being Wolverine, is the leap. And you can actually leap and grab enemies in the air. This includes Iron Man, Storm, and whoever else you can find floating up there. Just make sure you're at higher elevation before you take that Pharaoh Leap. And I can't tell you enough, y'all. If I kill an Iron Man like this, it makes my whole damn game. I don't care if I go negative. That was fun, and I'm happy as hell if I could pull this off. As well as use Wolverine in the best team comps, alright? Please pay attention to your team compositions. If the enemy team does not have tanks, don't go using Wolverine. It's not really going to serve you the best. You're probably going to end up going negative. Also, if you don't have healers on your team, if you don't have DPSs that are going to be in their face, and you don't have a tank that is going to be in the front line, to draw the enemy team's aggro, then don't pick Wolverine because everybody's just going to focus you and melt you. Wolverine functions the best in a team where there's going to be a lot of melee DPS people all up in the enemy team's face. So when you go and push, they're going to be dealing with all these other fights that everybody won't be able to automatically turn and deal with you, to give you the time to hit that tank, pull that tank out, and that way the healer should be busy trying to heal everyone and not just pocket the tank. And you'll be sitting there like, damn, I did a lot of damage, but I didn't kill him. So always pay attention to those team comps. When you have to nope out, Pharaoh Leap is very good for when you have to escape, y'all. Don't forget to use it like that as well. And I would say, play with the team like I was mentioning before. Do not just go in there thinking that your Berserker Rage is going to save you and your regenerative healing factor is going to save you, because it really won't. But when Wolverine is used right, Wolverine is a tank melter. He can also clear a board kind of quickly if you kill that main tank and you move on to the healers and so on and so forth, and you're getting healed. I'm telling you, Wolverine is not a bad character, never was, and he just got a buff. So this is really the time to try out Wolverine. Now, to all my Logan pros out there, please tell me if there's any tips I missed, any tips you could add to that in the comments. Please do it. Let us know what you do to be the best damn Logan you can be. If this helped you out, please drop a free like. Subscribe if you like more guides than this. Please check out my cloak and dagger or my Moon Knight guide for more stuff like this. And thank you so much for supporting. I'm out.